all face challenges, but some people seem to bounce back a little easier than others. My next guest believes understanding your own approach to life's challenges can help make you more resilient. Studio 5 relationship coach Dr. Matt Townsend is here. So this is about conflict resolution, also about how you just take on life's curveballs.
Anything that life throws at you, you probably have a typical approach to it. You have a paradigm of how you see it. So do you see challenges in life as a teaching tool, a learning tool, or do you see it as God trying to crush you, or do you see it as something to avoid or something to just never go near?
You've put these into four titles, if you will. It's kind of a personality test that we'll explore.
And I see them everywhere, by the way. I see them like, the first category is the disengaged. So those are the people that have yet to actually get into, they're bystanders in their own life. They don't really seem to know that they're an agent in life. They just are going to let a lot of life happen, but they don't seem to actually be in the game yet.
Does this tap into the victim mentality a
Some
little
of it's
bit?
the victim. Some of it is just, they're actually not even, they're not reactive, they're just inactive. Like they don't yet quite know that life is yours and you at some point need to start driving this car because it's just going to keep going on its own. So the disengaged, those are the ones that you don't seem to get much from. They don't seem to complain. They don't even argue with you. They just don't do anything.
Doesn't sound like a good thing.
It's not probably a great trait to deal with a challenge because like a health issue, if you don't deal with the challenge, it's just going to keep getting better and becoming a bigger challenge. So at some point with life or anything, like imagine the person that has 4 parking tickets, but just disengages from it and never deals with it. Those tickets are going to end up costing you a lot of money. And like me at the University of Utah, I couldn't graduate until I took care of my tickets and had a big bill.
There's a story.
If you disengage too much, it'll whip you.
So in one sentence, how would you motivate the disengaged bystander?
The disengaged bystander, I don't know that you can motivate them except to keep allowing them to see that this is your life. And at some point, you're going to have to start to drive it. I try to figure out what is driving them. Usually pleasure is the driver for the disengaged.
We all know someone who avoids conflict at all costs. You call this the dodger. The
dodger. The challenge with the dodger actually is actively involved in not being a part of any of the challenge. So when it starts to get complicated, when it starts to get hard, the dodger intentionally walks away from it, leaves it, doesn't deal with it.
Which I have to imagine if you're married to a dodger, for example, that would be extremely frustrating.
It's really difficult. By the way, 70% of the time, men in a conflict with their wife tends to be the dodger because we just don't know what to do with it, really. I mean, because if it gets really ugly, I could hurt you. I don't want to go there, and I'm not good at this, and I don't want my ego pushed on.
So what's the takeaway?
So we disengage. So one of the things, the big key to all of this is start to recognize which one you are. If you don't ever notice challenges, you're disengaged. If you are constantly avoiding the challenge, you have to start sticking in. I just tell the person that avoids it, the dodger, to stay in. To stay in. Even if you are afraid of the baseball coming at you, if you would just stay put and not move, you're going to stop the ball. It might hurt you, but you're going to stop the ball and make a play, but you can't just immediately react and dodge away.
The next category, the general, sounds like the most emotionally healthiest of the group.
You know, you'd think so, huh? The general is the one that actually takes on the challenges, but the general is an aggressive challenged person. They take it on aggressively, and what they want to do is control the challenge. They want to grab that challenge by the neck, and by golly, they're going to get this challenge where they want this challenge, and they're going to make it happen. So if you've ever seen somebody...
It was like you were grabbing rabbit ears.
I was like a little... I was thinking of a little chicken neck.
I don't know.
I was thinking of. Grab the chicken neck. And so they want it so badly. The problem with it is, so imagine like the mom who's got a big wedding reception to put on in her backyard, and she grabs that thing by the head, and she then turns into the general. And she starts demanding, controlling, driving,
well, now the general sounds frightening.
Everything the way she wants. And she's doing it because she thinks she can control the challenge.
Yeah.
And which works with some small challenges. But small challenges can turn into big challenges. Little children might be a little more controllable, but they turn into teenagers and they're less controllable. Then they turn into adults and they're not controllable. And so if you think your idea is you're going to control the challenge away, you're setting yourself up for some issues as well. And you might also lose friends in the meantime. A lot of people know when you're the general, and those are the ones that just immediately do what you say, which I guess is good. except you might be losing things over the long haul.
Okay, I take it back. I don't want to be the general.
Yeah, you don't want to be the general.
At first read, that sounded good. So the learner, do I want to be the learner?
Well, you kind of want to be the accepting learner. The learner is the one that when they see a challenge, they accept it as a challenge. This is what it is. This is my new challenge. I have a gallbladder issue. My gallbladder issue is my challenge. I can't eat fat, and it's making me sick.
It might not be a hypothetical. I'm just saying.
I'm just giving a hypothetical.
I'm sorry.
But so I have to accept that I have a gallbladder issue and then learn and adapt and change and see what this gallbladder issue can teach Matt Townsend and learn from it and be humbled by it and develop through it and grow through it, not avoid it, not disengage, not pretend like it's not there, and not try to control every part of it.
Can that be learned if it's not innately in you?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it actually has to be. And honestly, they show, the research shows it's the key to happiness. If you can learn to accept the life you've got, you'll find happiness. If you can't, you're just going to keep that pursuit of happiness, hoping that the happiness will be behind the next rock down the road.
MattTownsend.com is where you want to go for more information on this topic and many others. You're such a helpful resource to all of us.
Thanks, Brooklyn.
Thank you so much. Hope that gets feeling better.
Yeah, it will. Thanks.
We're thinking of you.